Hey guys, welcome back to Allison Unfiltered. I am so excited to share with you one of my favorite people in the whole world that wild horses could not drag me away from, and that is my girl Christine Richter. We call her Hoodie. That's her name down in the box. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but man, welcome to Allison Unfiltered, Hoodie. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you so much for having me on.
I'm so excited that you're here. Listen, I don't think many people know how far back our story goes, which is a little interesting. We've known each other. God, have we ever added it up? Like how many years?
Well, it would have been easily 30, right?
Possibly.
Yeah, because we graduated in 94 and it's 2023.
God, that makes me feel really, really old. Let's not
we,
talk about that. Okay, let's
yeah.
not talk about that part. Let's talk about something different. So, so we've known each other since high school. We both graduated the same year. What do you remember about those days?
Well, I remember that I didn't like you very much because I thought that the boy I had a crush on liked you. And so I was jealous. And you're like, I don't even remember him when we talked about it as adults. But I remember that I didn't like you and I was probably pretty mean to you.
Yeah, I remember being a little scared of you. That's for sure. I remember like you were part of the, you were part of the popular girl crew, and I remember being pretty intimidated by your presence for sure.
Well, I
Um,
pushed my way around, and as I've gotten to be an adult, I've realized that I don't have to do that. That being kind and, building relationships and not just assuming the worst about people is the way to roll for me. And I think I probably prejudged you because I didn't know you very well.
right. No, we didn't know each other well at all, and we didn't run around in the same group or the same crowd either. So but what I found interesting, I mean, years and years ago, where we're in a parking lot where we all used to hang out on, the Loop and Broadway at an empty gas station where all our cars used to gather, and you and another girl were there, and there were like three of y'all that were gonna jump me that night. And I remember like thinking, there's no way I want to get my ass kicked. Like, these girls are going to beat my ass. And if there's one thing I'm scared of, I don't like fighting.
Me
Fighting,
neither.
I don't like fighting at all. And I fear pain. Pain is a very, like, I'm vain enough that I can fear some pain. I don't want my face messed up. I don't want bruises. I don't want brokenness. So I got in my car that night and left. And I hit one of the girls with my car on the way out of the parking lot. Like, I mean, it wasn't hard, but I like bumped her leg because she wouldn't get out of the way.
That's so funny. And I don't remember any of that. And I think it's like God's way of protecting me from myself that I don't
Mhm.
remember all the dumb stuff that I did when I was younger. And I
Yeah,
also have a really forgiving spirit because of that. I don't hold grudges very long.
yeah. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because then you continue to let the same people run over you
You're right.
continuously.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that. I get that. Man. So this just takes me back and it makes me reminisce, and I remember Danny and I became members of Lane's Chapel Church, and I hadn't seen you, but I we had talked with the pastor there, and he said, I have the perfect Sunday school class for you. It's kind of the misfits of the group. It's not your typical Sunday school class. It's kind of the misfit people. I'm like, well, that's perfect for us because we do not fit the mold for anything in any church ever. And that's always been the hardest thing about us getting involved and finding people that we love in a church, right? And finding people that are willing to love us, right? Because we're not easy people to love. I know that. And
I
so I
think you're
walked
right.
in. Do what?
I said, "I think you are," but that's my opinion.
Well, that's because you know me now, though,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So, um, I remember walking down the hallway that day, and I'm so nervous about walking into a Sunday school class at first for the first time. And I walk in, and literally, I looked across the room, and you were sitting there, and I was like, I remember thinking, "You've got to be kidding me, God. Like, you've got to be kidding me. Hood is sitting in here? Seriously?" Like, that's what I was thinking while I was smiling and walking in. You know?
Yes.
So what was your first thought when you saw me walk in?
I thought, "Oh, okay, there she is, and she still has the same curly big hair." And I wonder if she's still as loud as she was before, like I was. And then I don't know how we got on the subject, but we started talking about grocery shopping and how you make a spreadsheet of all of your meals, recipes, and things that you want to buy at Sam's and, the grocery store for the kids. And I was like, wait a minute, we're adults now. We're making adult decisions, and she has something new to offer here. I'm going to open my ears because I was into budgeting. Donnie and I had done Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University. And so I was listening to how you organized, and I thought, okay, I'm listening to this girl. She's mature. We've grown. And so I really started interacting with you on that level about food and finances. And I think that that was just foreshadowing to the rest of our lives together, because we do talk a lot about money and food still, even today. Those are two things
Yeah.
that have really bound us together just since that day. But I thought it was weird that we were in the same class, but that God does things for a reason. So I was open to it.
Yeah. Well, and then you got pregnant, and not only were you just pregnant, but you got pregnant with twins. And I was I was I I worked for motherhood maternity for 7 or 8 years, and I loved my pregnancies. I've always loved pregnant women. I think it's one of the neatest gifts that God has ever given us to be able to grow a baby in our bodies. It's just the coolest shit ever, right? I mean, it's crazy. And so I kind of followed you through your pregnancy and, and watched you grow. And then when it was time to have the babies, you went in the hospital and you had posted something. You had the babies and you had posted, man, I wish I had, because we were Facebook. We had gotten close enough that we were on Facebook together. Like
Yes.
it was still like acquaintance level, but we were friends on Facebook. And I saw that and I was like, oh man, this is a win-win situation for me because number one, I'm gonna go take her a $6 smoothie. I can afford to do that. And I'm gonna get to hold twin babies, like newborns, like fresh out the oven, 12 hours old new babies, right? And I'm like, I'm down. So I remember like calling you and asking you which one you want. I'll bring it to you or something. And we just kind of visited while I was there, and I got to hold babies. And I mean, I'd known Don, but I think he gave us a little bit of time to visit, and it was just good to get to know him a little bit better too. Uh, and then shortly after, about 3 months later, you started posting something about how you were losing weight and you were doing this thing. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll bite. What are you
Well, and
doing?
it might have felt like 3 months, but Allison, it was a year and a half because
Was
yes,
it really?
because we between that time and when I started posting, when you brought the smoothie to the hospital and when I started posting, the boys were almost 2. And so it was a
Oh,
year and
wow.
a half, I guess, because it was about this time, 7 years ago when I got started. And so we had moved from Tyler down to Bastrop and we had stayed Facebook friends, but I would still come home sometimes. And so
Yeah.
that's how we got connected on the Xyngular thing, is because when I posted, you reached out and asked me about it, and then when I told you that there were protein shakes involved, you were out. And I said, "Well, the next time I get home, I'm going to come over and let you try it because I really think that you will like it." And you said, okay. So when I came to visit mom for something, I brought the shake and you threw it up in the sink. I had it on video for the longest time. And you threw it up in the sink. And I said, you are
Yep.
so dramatic. It is not that gross. It tastes great. You're crazy. So I don't know if it was a texture thing or you don't love vanilla or what, but I wasn't willing to give up on it.
I don't love shakes. I still don't love shakes. And you and I, when I decided to go ahead and take a stab at this, you and I, we figured out a way. And that's one of the things, the great things about us through our friendship is we've always had a lot of patience for each other. There's always been a so much respect between the two of us. And we figure out a way. We figure out how to work it out together.
Yeah.
And that's been like, I mean, I would say you're one of my dearest friends and mentors. And I mean, I learned this by watching you, right? And I've grown so much as a human being just because of, your guidance and your patience and I mean, the fact that we figured out, I don't know who it was. Who came
I
up
think
with the straw
I
idea?
think
Is
it
that
was
you?
straw, and then you came up with the Whataburger straw.
Yeah. So to this day, I drink my shakes through a Whataburger straw. I mean, to this day, it's not that our shakes are bad, but it's just anything like that makes me want to gag. Anything that's like a milky, I can't eat like melted ice cream. I don't drink. Like you would never catch me going through and getting a shake at Whataburger or McDonald's or something. Like no way. I'm not. Bleh, it's gross. I don't even drink milk. Bleh, uh-uh. No, it's not
Maybe it
happening.
reminds you of like
It's nasty.
antibiotics from when you were little or something. I don't know, but my kids gag on those milky antibiotics, so maybe that was it. But I'm glad you got over it or found a way to make it work because you wanted something
Yeah.
bad enough. And that's the thing that's worked with me and you. We want this relationship bad enough. We want to stay connected and consistent bad enough to talk about business, to talk about our teams, to talk about our goals, to talk about, not just our health goal, but like what we want in our lives. And we support each other and all of that. And even today, when you asked me to do the podcast, I'm like, well, can you be flexible with me? Because I really need to go get my toes done. And if I try to do this at home, there's going to be kids everywhere. And you said, sure. So you were flexible with me. And I'm sitting in a parking lot at a hospital that's like a clinic or something, and it's closed today, and they had the best service, Wi-Fi or internet or whatever. And so we found a way to make it work. And that's what people have to commit. It's about commitment with us. We're in it to win it as long
Yeah.
as it takes, as many years as we need to, forever together to just do it, whether it's about weight or business or whatever. Life.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And we were both on this weight loss journey at the same time. You lost 75 pounds. I lost 75 pounds. Then, and then I remember being at an event, and I think we were in Indianapolis, and you looked at me and you were like, I'm pregnant again with twins. And I was like, I didn't even know what to say because, like, first of all, I mean, listen, more power to you, my friend, to have two sets of twins. But for me, no, thank you. No,
You love
no, thank you
babies.
very much. Right? No, I love babies. I don't like toddlers. I don't like them when they can talk back,
I
and
understand.
they're mouthy. Right? But I
Well,
love
and
the
we
babies.
didn't really plan the whole twin thing. It's all a God thing. We didn't like do fertility treatment or anything like that. Um I just produced multiple follicles. So had I continued to have babies, I would have probably kept having multiples. The first set of twins was born at 37, the second set at 42, and I'm older. I'm an older mom, and I really feel like had it not been for Xyngular, we wouldn't have even probably gotten pregnant with the second set of twins because I was the healthiest I was ever in my whole life. But I wouldn't be able to keep up with them,
Yeah.
afford them, have fun with them, enjoy them like I do if it wasn't for the products, the program, and the fact that it has been able to provide financially for our family so that my husband can be a stay-at-home dad. And I was just bragging about him this week on my Facebook, and he's so good at it. I mean, he enjoys laundry and dishes and cooking and picking kids up. He doesn't love the homework part, but he's good at all those things. And I get to be a school counselor, which I really love. It's my career and my passion there. And then I also get to help people lose weight, feel better, and make money in the evenings and on the weekends. And so it's just really worked out for us. And Xyngular has just been a vehicle to help improve my life and then bring me relationships like yours and mine, because we wouldn't have gotten as close had it not been for Xyngular, for the weight loss and the opportunity.
I totally agree. And I think one of the coolest moments I remember being on the phone with you, you said, "Oh my God, I just spent like $500 at Sam's and I got all these groceries to put away." And I was like, Hoodie, did you hear yourself? Like, because we both came from, we struggled with our weight all our lives. We struggled financially all our lives, you know. And I was like, Hoodie, did you hear what you just said? And you're like, wait, what? And I was like, you just said you spent $500 on groceries and you didn't even bat an eye. Like you weren't even worried about it. So tell me what you remember about that conversation.
I remember that I was putting groceries away and I was on the phone with you and we were visiting and catching up, and I said something about us having gone to Costco. It was Costco, and Donnie was like fussing a little bit about how much money we spent, and I said it was only $700, and you go, "Do you hear what you just said? You only spent $700 at the grocery store. How crazy is that?" Like that's what some people spend in a whole month, and we had gone to one trip to the grocery store, and I said the word only about $700. I remember specifically one day. It was early on when after I had started sharing Xyngular with people, and I was earning money and having actual commission and feeling really confident about my bank account. I remember walking past this grill outside of HEB, and it was this big, crazy looking grill that I thought, oh, Don Rector would really love something like that. And I stopped in my tracks and thought, you know what? I could buy that grill right now if I wanted to.
Right?
I can afford it. And I texted my coaches in my success chat and I was like, you guys, I just walked past this grill and I sent a picture of it. And I said, I can buy this if I want to. How great is that? I'm not going to because I don't know if he would use it or whatever, but I think it's so cool that I have the power to, spend and have a little bit of financial freedom, because when the boys were little, it was $1,300 a month to put them in daycare. And there would be some months where we would go negative in our bank account. And I just would get so embarrassed having to ask my mom for money. It was so uncomfortable as a married couple with children to be able, not to be able to do it on our own and have to ask for help. And Don Rector was working full time then. He was doing 4 10-hour days of really manual labor. And so it really just blessed my family in my life in so many ways when we were able to, afford to buy things, afford to pay our own bills without asking for help, feel comfortable financially, be able to get life insurance on ourselves and our children and invest, and then, not have to have done work has been just the neatest blessing.
Yeah, I mean, it's changed so much for us too. I mean, from being a single mom with two kids and their dad's in prison at the same time, and my grandmother paying for daycare, and my mom, making up the difference that food stamps didn't pay for and groceries. And I mean, I remember those days. I remember having to ask for help, and I remember one of the coolest moments because of Xyngular, um, and because of your help in leading me and teaching me this. Right? I mean, I'm a self starter anyway, but like, I couldn't. Uh, I learned how to talk to people differently because of you. I remember in the beginning I would ask you, okay, how would I say this? Because I'm just very straightforward and brash, and I'm just, I'm just I just call it like I see it. And one of the things that you taught me is just to slow down, take a step back, and how do what do you think you should say, right? How do you think you should say it? But anyway, sorry, squirrel. But back to one of the coolest moments. My mom came over and she said, "Are you okay? Do you need any money?" And I was like, "No, I have plenty of money. Do you need any money, Mom? Like, do you need $20? Because I mean, I can hook you up, you know?" And that
Yeah.
was like the coolest feeling of freedom, right? Of financial freedom on the planet, because I don't have to depend on anybody else. Right. And, just like you talked about, you guys retired Dawn. I mean, I walked away from my bookkeeping career in 2018. And I remember picking up the phone, calling you, going, "Oh my God, I lost my job," because we got laid off. But I never went back. And you said something about, well, now you get to do all the things that you want to do, and now you get to be that swim mom. And it's so funny that we're on here today because I wore that swim mom shirt yesterday. And um I don't know, it's just it's good juju all the way around. It just reminds me
Yes,
of
I
good stuff.
remember when you called me, I was like, at first I thought, oh, that was what she wanted to do forever. And I felt a little bit sad because you weren't going to get to do what you knew you were good at. But then I thought, God always answers prayers and opens doors, and He sometimes closes doors when we think we have a better plan. He's got a plan. And so you've gotten so much better about just trusting him and being open to new things and trying new things. And you've learned some things from me, but I've learned a lot from you too about how to hold each other accountable, or hold some of my teammates accountable and people accountable in my lives, and to set firm boundaries. I mean, not accepting people's bullshit. You've taught me that. Like, I can call them out and it's okay to do that. And so we empower each other, and that's what we want to keep doing, is empowering each other, but find other people who want what we have, and that's what we're going to keep doing, and growing and growing.
Yeah. And I think it's just, there's so many things in our lives that we didn't realize how much we had in common until we got to know each other. And one of these days we'll tell that story. But um, there is so much in common with us in life and childhood and struggles and all of those things. And I'm so grateful to have you in my life, and I can't wait till we actually get to do some real traveling together. We've been on a lot of trips, but we've been on the trips at different times, so we
I
haven't really
know.
got to go together, right?
I know. I can't wait till that. That'll be so fun. Jamaica.
Yeah, for
You're
sure,
halfway
Jamaica.
there. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks. I'm working
That's
on it.
exciting.
Working on it. Working
More
on it.
than halfway, honestly, because you have all the points you need. But anyway,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I just feel like this community that we've built, not just your relationship with me and mine with you, but some of the teammates that you've brought along are some of the coolest people I've ever met. And I just love them. And you've just been, such a huge part of my life. And like you said at the beginning, you said wild horses couldn't drag us away from each other, because when you go through stuff, you just get closer and closer and closer. And so
Yeah.
that's what's happened with our relationship for sure. So even though we wanted to fight each other, or you thought we wanted to fight, or I wanted to fight, there ain't no way that would happen now.
No, no, I'd just lay down and let you hit me at this point. I mean,
No way.
there's there's no way. But I mean, we've laughed together, we've cried together. I mean, we've cheered together. We have you and I, because you are what's considered my upline in Xyngular. Like, we do mentor calls every week, and I can tell you that's one of the most important things to me is that 7:45 a.m. call. Like, I don't lay around in bed that morning. I'm like, "Oh, got a call with Hood this morning, so I got to get up and get moving," right? There's
Yes.
no waiting around. There's no 5 more minutes in bed. But I look forward to that. It's important to me. It's important to our relationship. Maybe we don't always talk about business, but I mean, you've been through some hard stuff, and we've prayed for each other, and I don't. we've never missed. Like maybe like 3 or 4 times we've missed a call in 6 years, you
Yeah,
know?
seriously,
And
that's true. Because of a vacation or someone was sick or you had surgery or I had surgery. But other than that, no, we do it every week consistently. And we haven't
yeah,
always done Tuesday mornings at 7:45. We've been flexible with each other. And sometimes it was
yeah.
in the evenings and sometimes it was on Saturdays. And that worked for a little while, but this is working great right now. And we go through seasons of our lives and change in our lives, and we're there for each other. And that's the beautiful thing about what we've got going.
Well, and I also want to point out that, and I don't know how much you want to talk about it, but you are a cancer survivor. And this is something, you just mentioned surgeries, and this is something that you've recently gone through. And I know when I found out, my heart was just, I mean, I knew, like my gut, I knew you're going to be okay, right? But there's always that fear that
Yeah.
something's not going to be okay. You went through a hellacious surgery not too long ago. Will you share a little bit of that experience? And because I mean,
Sure.
you lost 75 pounds, you had a set of twins, and then you've been working on losing the weight from the second set of twins, right? And you're killing
Yep.
it. You're doing such a great job. And then you had this cancer diagnosis in the middle of all of this. Like, if you're not a survivor, I don't know who freaking is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I can do
So
hard things. I can do hard
you
things.
can do hard things.
And
Yep.
there's nothing
And you do
special
hard
about
things
me.
well.
It's just that I keep looking to the Lord and trusting in him, and I have tons of people that are praying for me. But part of the reason for that is because I'm willing to ask and I'm willing to share my journey, and I'm really open about what I go through, whether it be with the pregnancy or the cancer. And to be honest, I never really liked saying cancer out loud. I liked just saying I had a diagnosis or whatever. I don't know. But DCIS is what I had. It's ductal carcinoma in situ, and it was stage 0. We caught it really early because of a mammogram at that building right there that I can see. And it was so early on that they were able to just give me tamoxifen to keep it from growing, because mine was about 20% estrogen based. And so I had asked, can I please wait until after my trip to Dubai with my mom, which I earned because of Xyngular, um, to do the surgery. And they said, yes, we're comfortable with that because it is stage 0 and you're willing to take this medicine. And I took it for a few months, and then I had my surgery December 19th, and they did this procedure called DIEP flap, DIEP. And it's an immediate, for me, it was immediate. They've done it for some other women after the fact, but what that meant was they took out the breast tissue at this, during the same surgery as they reconstructed my breast. And while they were in there, they took a couple of sentinel nodes from under my arm to test and make sure I was really cancer free. And so they reconstructed my breast with my tummy, blood vessels, fat, and skin. And so it was a very invasive 6.5 hour surgery. And luckily, my mom was available to take care of the kids for the first 2 weeks. And I had some friends help too. You were one of those. But then when she brought them back, I had had enough time to recover enough that I was able to function with the kids in the house, and it was fine. And we had church members and friends from school doting on me and bringing me us food and things like that. But um, I really didn't take much medicine. I did for the first week or so, but after that, I really just relied on like ibuprofen or Tylenol. I did have to do blood thinners because I have a blood clotting disorder. They think that's why it was so hard for me to stay pregnant all those years that I was trying to get pregnant before the boys were born. So anyway, we figured out some stuff about my health, which it's not a big deal. It's only if I'm only going to need them if I ever have to be on blood thinners. But after my recovery, I was able to go back to work pretty quickly. And I asked the doctor, why do you think I healed so fast? Is it the supplements? Because I'm drinking Global Blend, which is our anti-inflammatory juice. I'm taking other supplements like my multivitamin every day. I'm drinking collagen and a ton of water, eating lean protein. She said, well, yeah, that's part of it, but really it's your attitude. It's your positive attitude. It's your head is the reason why you're healing so quickly and able to go back to work. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. But I feel great. I have a flatter tummy and bigger boobs, and I'm cancer free.
Amen to that. I do want to say I remember the day that you were in surgery and I was a basket case that day. I was beside myself. I blew your husband's phone up and if I may, you were in surgery longer than 6.5
You think
hours, just
so?
so you know. I mean,
You think it was longer than that?
uh yeah, it was more like seven and a
Oh,
half.
okay.
Yeah, because we were pushing 8 hours by the time we knew you were out of surgery. And I was like, I got goosebumps again thinking about that because that it scared the shit out of me. I was like, okay, she's been there too long. Like, what's happening? Like, I'm blowing Donnie's phone up. So, and I was like, please don't kill me. But I'm like, the mama bear takes over, and I'm so
Oh.
protective of the people that I love so much, you know.
Well, I
So
love you, and
I'm so
I didn't
glad.
wake up being worried at all. I woke up and said, "Man, that was the best nap of my life."
I
Yeah,
know, right? I know. And you did heal really fast and you did heal really well. And I remember talking to you through your healing process because I went through a tummy tuck and what do you call it? It's a boob job, whatever. But I was trying to think of the proper term, but who cares? This is unfiltered anyway, so it
yeah,
doesn't
right.
matter. But I went through that, and so to see you on your walker after I'd been on my walker, it's like our lives are, we're experiencing a lot of the same things. It's just at different times, and we can like guide each other through these things. And I think that's part of the reason why we're in each other's lives. And um, I love you to pieces,
I
and I
do
don't
too.
know what I could not imagine my life without you.
I love you. I couldn't imagine my life without you. And if anybody is listening, I think that that's what makes this so special is that we were open. We were open to something new. We were open to this new relationship. We were open to learning. We're open to change. And it's grown us. It's grown us in some pretty special ways. And I'm so grateful for you. And thank you so much for being unfiltered. That's one of my favorite things about you.
Sometimes that's one of your favorite things about me, but I remember when you tried to get me to post my results. I was down like 25 or 30 pounds, and I was like, no, I like you asked me for months, like, and that's the thing when you're in a situation like this and you're talking to someone and you know they have a story to share and you know they need this and you know the finances financially could help them, like you pushed, right? You didn't over push, but you kept dripping on me and you kept loving on me and you kept, planting those seeds, girl, like these people want to know what you're doing. Do you want to make some money or do you want me to make the money,
Yeah.
right? Because, and I finally just said okay and posted, and I remember doing it like this. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm fixing to post this. With my hands covering my eyes and hit the blue post button. And my phone just it blew up and you helped me through every step. I'm so grateful for you. We wouldn't be I wouldn't have had the experiences in the last 5 years of my life that I've had, and my children wouldn't have had the experiences that they've had. And I can't wait to see as we grow together through this company, the experiences that your children are going to get to have.
Yes.
Like that's the thing is we get to leave a
Yeah.
legacy of Xyngular. And I just think it doesn't take someone special. It just takes someone open. Like you said, someone open and someone willing to take a chance and someone to willing to take their phone to the bathroom every time they go so they can build an
Yeah,
empire
and you
sitting on
did
a
it
potty.
scared.
You
I
know what
mean,
I'm
you did
saying?
it like
Like,
this. And that's sometimes how
yeah,
people start, and that's
yeah,
okay because we're going to be there to hold their hand.
yeah. It's true. And I think when you have a culture that we've built, the kind of culture that we've built in Xyngular, it's just it's an incredible place to be. It really is. And I could not imagine my life without
I
it for
love you. I'm
sure.
so proud of
Um
you.
and I love you. I'm so proud of you. But I'm so grateful for you that everything that you've gone through. I mean, you're a survivor and you did it. And that's another thing I want to point out really quick. You did not one time feel sorry for yourself. You did not one time play the victim. of anything that was happening to you, right? You got up every day and you made a decision that you were a survivor of whatever
Yep.
was going on with you. That is a true, serious story of inspiration and survival. And it's true. It all starts right here in your mind. It that's it every day. And people like, oh, well, you don't understand depression, and yes, I do. I've been there, but you have to pick your ass up and pull yourself up by the bootstraps and say, I'm gonna have a good damn day today. You know,
Absolutely.
no matter what's
So
going
true.
on.
So true. God is with us every step of the
Yeah.
way, and I don't
I'm
really worry
thankful
and
for today.
fear about anything because I know He will always take care of me. He has my whole entire life with all the dumb shit I've done. He's been right there to make sure that I was okay and that I was even better for whatever I went through. And that's the thing. I mean, now I know I've been through depression too, and now I know what it's like to be a cancer survivor, and I can support other people as a counselor and as a friend, as a Christian, you know?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. I know you're ready to go get your toes done and spend some time getting some of that little self-care
Yes,
and support,
yes.
right? But thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for all of it, Hoodie. I just like
You're
thank you
welcome,
for
and I
being my
just
friend.
love seeing you and your family be blessed.
Yeah, same for sure. All right. Well, I will
Love you
talk to you
too.
soon.
Bye, sweetie.
Love you lots. Hey guys, you guys can catch this on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, all the above. It's out there. So check out Allison Unfiltered. Make sure you share it, like it, share it, subscribe on YouTube, all of that. I need some more subscribers. If you love this, share it with your people. That would be really, really helpful because we've got some pretty incredible stories of transformation, and they're all right here on Allison Unfiltered.